Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, four friends decided to start a clothing business. They were going to name that, they did name that Shameless Clothing Limited, and the idea was to design t-shirts and print them and build a clothing business. One of those friends was me. I must have been about 17. One of the four of us, their dad agreed to put in £10,000 to fund the business. We had designers, business people. We had all these ideas to make t-shirts and make a t-shirt business. And we went to Romford to view a t-shirt press. And I think it had four things around it where you could get the design, put it onto the mesh thing, and then print the t-shirts and then sell them. Now, for whatever reason, I can't remember, we were doing other things, probably enjoying ourselves a bit too much. We didn't end up going ahead and we closed it down, but we did start the company. We made a load of progress and it was fun to do it. I think it would have failed because this leads into day 37 of Nonconformity Company, where we're going to launch Nonco Clothing, noncoclothing.com, to show you another business idea of how you can do business in today's society, today's availability of tech and tools and business. Because back then, 20 years ago, we would have had, with that 10 grand, we would have had to have bought the press, which I think was maybe about 5 grand. So we had 5 grand left. We would have had to then find a place, a unit to rent and put the equipment. We would have then had to buy stock, blank t-shirts. We would then had to do the design. We would have had bills, electricity, taxes and water rates, etc. So we would have had all of these costs up front, and we would have had burned through that 10 grand really quickly. I think it would have been a big lesson in business. Maybe, yeah, it didn't go ahead, but I can see how it would have gone now looking back. And I'm glad we didn't do it. I would have been glad if we did it. You learn from these things. You've got to try many things to see what works and what not and what doesn't. But we would have then had this press, we would have had a unit, we would have had these bills, these ongoing fixed costs. So we would have had to start selling a lot of t-shirts quite quickly. The internet was taking off then, so e-commerce it was just kicking in really. It wasn't trusted as much. So it would have been a lot of work. Say we were selling the t-shirts for £20. We could have had fixed costs of say £1,000 a month with all the bills and rent, etc. And so we would have had to start selling, 100 times the 20, 2 grand, 100 t-shirts to start making some money. It would have been a lot of work, and we would have had to kept at it. I would have been reliant on our designs, and then the sizings as well. You have to get the colors and the sizings, getting that right. You would have had a lot of excess stock lying around because you might have bought a load of large and mediums and smalls, or the mediums sell, you've got a load of small and larges there lying around. So wasted stock, also mistakes printing them because we would have been new to it. Then you've got the postage, which would have taken time, transportation costs, energy of ours putting in, which we would have needed a wage. So, and the four of us taking a share, we would have had to print and make a lot of t-shirts just to get to the point of breaking even and taking a wage to make it worthwhile as doing that. So fast forward to today and Nonco Clothing, there exists businesses that will take your order as and when it's placed. They will pick the item that you've decided. They will then print your logo or your design onto it. Then they will then pack it and ship it for you, all for a very reasonable cost, because they're doing it at a larger scale. So if they're doing it for thousands of people, they can benefit from the economies of scale and have systems and everything in place to do that. So loads of smaller people add up to one bigger person that can do it effectively for these smaller people. So yeah, I want to showcase Nonco Clothing just to showcase the business model, to say if you want to get into clothing, if you are artistic, if you've got designs, if you've got ideas, you can get these designs on not only to t-shirts and other bits of clothing, but pretty much any product in the world. Mugs, baths, baths is probably a bad example. Who's going to buy a branded bath? We'll forget that one. But any branded product. There's a lot of websites like Redbubble and other ones that I've been looking at. I've got a couple of suppliers I'm looking at, and I'm just going to literally start with a white t-shirt, small, medium and large, with non-conformity company printed on it. So I can put that onto a website. I can then have people come and select what size they want and pay for it. I'm going to charge £20, and I'll go through the maths in a minute to show you what it's about. So you could, if you could, essentially, we would have been back then going, oh, this is a great design, let's go ahead, let's print a load of these and then try and sell them. Now it's kind of in reverse. You can have loads of different designs and put them onto your website, and whatever sells then just goes and gets picked, printed, packed and shipped to your customer. So you're not having to print loads and loads and guessing which one sells or putting all your eggs into a couple of designs. It's the complete reverse. So you can let the customers speak and show where the demand is from what they're buying. So there's no end to how many designs you can have, because it doesn't really cost you anything. If you've got the designs on the internet, you can just have them there linked to your payment processor, and it's really, really simple to do. So I'm just going to start with one. We've got some further projects coming with this where I'll go more into detail, but this is just an introduction to this kind of custom white label drop shipping model that's available. So it just to show you that you can start a clothing business, a clothing brand, without really much outlay. You just need a website, which is really cheap, payment processor, get your designs on there, and then link with a supplier, which I'm kind of finalizing at the minute, that will then receive your order. So I can pretty much automate this whole process, because I'll have on my website a price for the t-shirt, £20, pick your size. When that order comes in, I will take the money. So I receive the money up front, which is also great for cash flow. I'm not having to outlay all this money. I receive that £20, and then I can have it automatically link with their system. And if it doesn't automatically link with the system, I can use automations and code to take that order, send it to their system or their email or their ordering system to place an order. And then if you can't then do that, you could outsource the link with that, but pretty much you can use tech to automate this. So they'll receive the order, they'll receive the address from my customer, they will do their job of picking it, printing it, packing it and shipping it straight to my customer, like white label. So they won't know it's come from them. It won't have any of their details on their business. That's what white label is. It will appear as if it's come from me, and it has, but it hasn't, but it kind of has, because I'm making this. We're hopping on the back and harnessing the tools and businesses and the up-to-date models that are here, not that model 20 years ago that's very outdated and just, sure, you can see, yeah, hard work. Now it's the reverse. So I'll go through, I've just done some basic numbers just to show you what's what. So Nonco clothing, if I sell it for 20 quid, there will be a small bank transaction of a percent, say, but then I've got the VAT off that, so £3.33, so I'll be left with £16.66, 20% off the tax, left with £13.34 roughly. There are going to be more costs, because I do have website costs and things like that, but they're very low fixed costs. They're not like variable costs with electricity and all of this stuff, because they're doing all of that. So if I pay, I'm looking at some places between £4 and £6. I've got to look at the shipping as well and see what's included. So I'll say £6 for ease of maths at the minute. That will cover what I pay them to do the whole deal, pick it, print it, pack it, ship it. So if I had £6, I'll get the VAT back off that, so it'll be I'll be paying about £5 to them. And so that will be 13 minus the 5, which is about £8.33 left. So yeah, that's my profit. So if you divide that back by the 20 that we're charging, it's about a 42% profit margin. So for every t-shirt that I sell, I'll be making about 8 quid take home, which yeah, is fine by me. That's good. Sell 1,000 t-shirts a month, 8 grand. Then there's other products you can get into, all sorts of things. But this can be pretty much automated. I mean, to grow your brand, it's going to take energy, and I'm putting in energy to this, and hopefully people start to see what Nonco brand stands for and want to buy a t-shirt. Then you can do like limited edition launches. There's a lot of people that I followed that are really big. They have really big followings on YouTube, and they'll do limited launches every month or two that just sell out immediately. They just sell out because they're limited. They're not going to print those ones again. So, and some of these guys are making millions a month. They've obviously got a big brand, but you have to build a brand to then be able to sell this stuff, so to stand for something. So it could link nicely with, if you want to get into clothing and just do clothing, if you're artistic, if you've got designs, you can do this, get your designs out there easily. There are other services like Etsy that you can start to put things on as well and sell stuff without actually having it made. Once you get the order, then you get it made and get it posted out. And yeah, the options are endless with this. We're just showing you the t-shirt option, but also if you're getting into business and building a brand, then it's just something that you could add on as another income stream. Branded goods, so people can have it. People love this. It's people, I think now there's a bit of a movement to go away from these big brands that are maybe not as ethical as they could be, and want to support smaller, kind of more local or more ethical or more kind of honest brands that are a bit more up to date with what's going on in the modern world. So I think there's a real opportunity for people if you're building your own brand, which you should be, your own personal brand and your own businesses and your own projects online. This is something that you could add on to that just as another revenue stream, or get into the clothing brand. So noncoclothing.com, there it is. The game has changed. You can do this in reverse now. In reverse. Are you getting it now? Are you getting what we're doing with Nonconformity Company? We're showing you all these different ways, all these opportunities that you can do. So please begin, push, go, commit to this, commit to something daily, 20 minutes a day. You could have a clothing brand done in a month if you did 20 minutes a day. I promise you. All right.